We encourage everyone in the spirit of goodwill and sportsmanship to support your favorite team, show respect for your opponents, officials, and spectators, and enjoy today's game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Phillies Urban Youth Academy Field at FDR Park, where today the Philadelphia Public League presents the finest in championship scholastic softball action as the Chargers of Philadelphia Academy take on the Warriors of Franklin Town Charter. At this time, let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the Chargers of Philadelphia Academy, the guest on today's scoreboard. Starting in center field, a junior wearing number 11, Julian Asher. Batting second in left field, a sophomore, number 7, Balada Romero. Batting third and playing shortstop, a sophomore, number 12, Bridget Donahue. Batting fourth and catching, a senior, number 15, Casey Pasco. Batting fifth and playing right field, a junior, number 16, Gianni Farabelli. Batting sixth and playing second base, a junior, number 13, Sam Tartaglione. Batting seventh and playing first base, a junior, number 4, Sophia Mim. Batting eighth and pitching, a senior, number 14, Ava Gerace. And batting ninth and playing third base, a freshman, number 3, Rolla Schmutz. The head coach for Philadelphia Academy is John Petrie. He is assisted by Kate Asher. And now, the starting lineup for the Warriors of Franklin Town Charter. Leading off, a junior, the designated player, number 3, Abigail Peltzar. Batting second and pitching, a freshman, number 9, Shia Cruz. Batting third, a sophomore, wearing number 11, Anayla Rivera. Batting fourth, a sophomore, wearing number 8, shortstop, Ann Bernard. Batting fifth, a senior, playing center field, number 22, Sophia Blaisdell. Batting sixth, a junior, playing second base, number 18, Rebecca Layton. Batting seventh, a sophomore, catching, number 10, Molly Pagel. Batting eighth and playing first base, a senior, number 7, Geraldine Rivera. Batting ninth, the right fielder, a junior, number 12, Selena Fred. Playing left field, a senior, wearing number 2, Nevaeh Perez. The head coach for Franklin Town Charter is Skylar Petrosky. The assistant coach is Kadira Williams. The officials for this afternoon's contest are John Kay, Judy Morrissey, Rick O'Brien, and Jimmy Moore. At this time, we ask everyone to please rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats. And veterans, we invite you to salute. And everyone to sing along with the recorded sounds of the late, great Miss Whitney Houston as she honors the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we are live from FDR Park here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship for today's matchup as the Philadelphia Academy Chargers take on the Franklintown Charter High School Warriors. Well, good afternoon from FDR Park. I am Justin Sonsini, bringing you the call of today's softball championship game for the Philadelphia Public League. 1 seed versus the 2 seed, as both teams were the best teams this year in the tournament and the best teams all season long. Now it's time to see who takes home this championship. As taking the field is the Franklintown Charter High School Warriors. So the Warriors take the field as they will warm up here. So on the mound for the Warriors is Shia Cruz. Her record is 6-2. She has 67 strikeouts and 43 innings pitched. And she will face a Philadelphia Academy lineup. A very good batting average. As now they will get the balls are in just about as we are ready to start.
Leading off for Philadelphia Academy,
So,
the center fielder, number 11,
as
Julianne
Julian Asher leads off in center field for the Chargers. As Shia Cruz getting ready to face Asher. She's batting .478, 22 runs, 8 RBIs, and the first pitch is taken inside. And the count is 1-0. And here's the pitch. It is foul tipped right into the glove, strike one. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the center fielder, Asher. Julianne is a 3-year starter for the Academy Chargers, as calling time is the catcher, Molly Pagel. And a 1-1 count on Asher. Here's the 1-1. Taken for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Asher. So here's the 1-2. And the pitch is swung on, hit in the air out to left, playable, and it is caught by the left fielder, Navia Perez. And there is 1 away.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 7, Milana.
So here is Milana Romero, the left fielder. Romero batting .489, 16 RBIs, 27 runs. And here is the first pitch. That is taken in there for a called strike. 0-1 from Cruz. Here's the 0-1 from Cruz. That is fouled back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes on the left fielder, Romero. Well, Milana is a 2-year starter for Philadelphia Academy Chargers. And here is the 0-2, fouled back to the screen again. Romero stays alive, count 0-2. So nobody on and a 1 out so far for the Chargers. As we just started here, and here is the pitch. That is line, and there's a base hit out to left field for Romero. So she is on, 1 on, 1 out.
The shortstop, number 12.
And here is the shortstop, Bridget Donahue. So Donahue steps in, batting .683 so far, and the first pitch is taken inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes, as Donahue is a 2nd-year starter for the Chargers, and here is the 1-0. That is taken for a called strike. So 1-1 from Cruz. As we said, Donahue is a 2nd-year starter for the Chargers. And the 1-1 is fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 on Romero. And the 1-2 pitch fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. Runner at first, 1 out for the Chargers. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, foul outside of third. Still 1-2 on Romero. Or sorry, that's Donahue. So Romero is on first. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That is popped up. And that is going to fall into right field for a base hit. So Donahue is on first. So runners at first and second, 1 out for the Chargers. As that will bring up the catcher, Casey Pasco.
Now batting, the catcher, number 15, Casey Pasco.
So Pasco steps in, 744 batting average here in this tournament with 24 runs, 38 RBIs, and the pitch is grounded to short. They're going to get the out at third. So Pasco is on as Donahue takes second. So first and second, 2 outs. So Gianni Farabelli, who's a 3-year starter, batting .324, 19 RBIs, 12 runs. And the pitch is chopped on the ground, foul outside of third. No balls and a strike to Farabelli. So runners at first and second for the Chargers. As Farabelli, as we said, a junior, 3-year starter. Down to the count 0-1. Here's the pitch from Cruz. Swung on it, missed. And the count is 0-2 on Farabelli. As Shia Cruz looking to get out of this inning. 0-2 the count. Runners lead off. And the pitch is swung on, hit in the air out to left. This one has a chance, and it is going to be off the wall, a base hit. 2 runs will score. The throw is offline to the catcher. So Farabelli with a 2-run RBI triple, base clearing for the Chargers, and they lead it 2-0 here in the top of the first.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 13, Sam Tartaglione.
So Sam Tartaglione, the second baseman for the Chargers, steps in, and the first pitch is taken for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. A runner at third, 2 outs for the Chargers. 1-0, and that pitch is fouled. 1-1 to Tartaglione. So she is a 3-year starter on the team in the first year as a starter, 3rd year on the Chargers. And the pitch is taken for a called strike. So 1-2 to Tartaglione. A runner at third. Pitch swung on, foul tipped. Nearly catching it is Pagel, but it is a 1-2 count to the second baseman, Tartaglione. The 1-2, foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here is the 1-2, popped up. That is going to go out of play into the seats, a foul ball. So still 1-2 on Tartaglione as she stays alive here in the count and this at-bat. 1-2 the count. Cruz looking to get out of the inning, and the pitch is swung on, hit, and there's a base hit in the left center field. 1 run will score, and Sam Tartaglione with an RBI single, Farabelli scoring, and it's now a 3-0 lead for the Chargers.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 4, Sophia
So here is Sophia Mim, batting .366, 14 RBIs, 9 runs. Pitch, swung on, grounded, fair, and there's a base hit in the right field. Rounding second and going to third is Tartaglione. So Mim swinging at the first pitch with an opposite field 2-out double. So runners at second and third, 2 outs for the Chargers. So that will bring up Ava Gerace, who is the pitcher today for the Chargers. 9 runs, 11 RBIs. And here is the first pitch from Cruz. That is taken low. 1 ball and no strikes. So Gerace attended Franklin Town during her freshman year and has been a 3-year starter since transferring to Philadelphia Academy. And she will be attending Holy Family in the fall and will study radiology as the 1-0 is taken for a called strike. 1-1 the count to the pitcher, Gerace. Runners at second and third for the Chargers. They've had a big inning so far here in the first. And the 1-1 taken inside. 2 balls and a strike on Gerace. The number 8 hitter in the lineup for the Chargers. And the pitch. Nearly hit her, but it's 3 balls and a strike. So 1 ball away from loading the bases is Shia Cruz, who has given up a lot of hits so far here in the inning. And there is the pitch taken outside for ball 4. So the bases are loaded for the Chargers with 2 outs. And here is Lola Schmutz, the third baseman. .344 batting average, 9 runs, 7 RBIs, and time is called as it looks like we are going to. So Eva Kelly will run for Gerace. So Gerace is pitching here for the Chargers, as we've said. As time was called for the pinch runner. As Schmutz will step in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Cruz still looking to get out of it. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count 0-1 to Schmutz. As Lola is a freshman starter for the Chargers, and the 0-1 pitch is popped up, and that is going to be a foul ball. Count is 0-2 on the third baseman, Schmutz. Here's the 0-2. Taken for a called strike 3. And Schmutz is retired, and that will retire the side. So the Chargers start off strong. 3 runs on 5 hits, and the bases left loaded. We go to the bottom of the first. 3-0 Chargers as the Warriors will come to bat. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. to the bottom of the first. Big inning for the Chargers as they lead it 3-0. But now Franklintown looking to respond as the Warriors will come to bat against Ava Gerace, who is 8-2 with 2 saves and an average of 2.64 as the first pitch is taken outside. 1-0 to the designated player, Abigail Pelzar. So Pelzar, that pitch is taken, and the 1-0. Swing and a miss. So the count now 2-1 to Pelzar. And the 2-1 is popped up off into left, and that is going to drop in for a base hit for Pelzar. So Pelzar, second team All-Public, reaches with a leadoff single as Shia Cruz, the pitcher for the Warriors, steps in. Batting .261 with 1 home run. Pitch to Cruz, taken for a called strike by Gerace. And the count 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Shia Cruz. And the 0-1. Wild pitch, ball 1. Going to the backstop and taking second is Pelzar with a stolen base. So now we got a runner at second and nobody out for Franklintown. And the pitch fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the pitcher, Shia Cruz. There's Gerace looking to get out of it for the Chargers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2, taken up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Shia Cruz. So pitcher versus pitcher. 2-2. Taken, cold, strike 3. Cruz did not like the call, but tagged out by Pesco. And now, Anila Rivera, the third baseman, will come up to the plate. Batting .469 with 14 RBIs, 3 doubles. And the first pitch is taken just a hair outside. And the count 1-0 on Rivera. So 1-0. And the 1-0 is fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rivera. So Rivera is a second team All-Public. And the pitch is swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rivera. So 1-2 the count, 1 out. And a runner on second for the Warriors. Trailing 3-0 here in the first inning. And the pitch taken high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rivera. 2-2 the count, and the 2-2. Taken high, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the third baseman, Rivera. And Bernard on deck. Shortstop for the Warriors. And the pitch. Taken high, ball 4. So there are runners at first and second, and 1 out for Franklintown. And here's the shortstop. So here is Ann Bernard. The shortstop, batting .714. And here is the pitch to Bernard. Swung on, hit, base hit, in a right field. Bobbled, here comes the runner to the plate. The throw is not in time. So Cruz will score. That's Pelzar scoring the run. And it's an RBI single for Bernard. And on the board are the Warriors. It is 3-1 Chargers. So here is the catcher, Sophia Blaisdell. Blaisdell, 1 home run, 20 RBIs, batting .545. And here's the pitch. That's taken for a called strike 1. Count 0-1 to Blaisdell. So 0-1 to Blaisdell. And the 0-1 is taken up high. 1 ball and 1 strike to the catcher. Pitch. That's taken low. 2-1. So Blaisdell in center field today. So Blaisdell is a Northeast Times Softball Player of the Year. And the 2-1 is taken low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Blaisdell. So 3-1. And the pitch from Gerace taken high, ball 4. And the bases are loaded with 1 out for the Warriors. Well, this is a high-scoring first inning, as we are going to get a conference at the mound.
18, second baseman, Rebecca Layton.
So Rebecca Layton, second baseman, will come up to bat. Layton batting .333, 1 home run and 10 RBIs. So the bases are loaded for the Warriors. And Gerace's pitch, foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike on Layton. So no 0-1 on Layton. The 0-1 up high, taken. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rebecca Layton. Bases loaded. 1-1. Inside. 2 balls and a strike on Layton. Layton trying to add to the high-scoring first inning that has been in this one. And the 2-1 taken high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Layton. Bases loaded. 1 out for Franklin Town. The 3-1 taken high, ball 4. And Layton will walk. Well, 1 run will score. That is Rivera, and it is a 3-2 game. The Chargers lead it. So here is the catcher, Molly Pagel, who is batting .304, no homers, 7 RBIs, bases loaded, 1 out. Pitch taken low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the catcher, Pagel. Pitch, that's taken for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Pagel. 2 up, taken for a called strike 1. Right at the high point of the strike zone. So 2-1 to the catcher, Pagel. And the 2-1 inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Trying to tie the game for the Warriors. 3-2. 3-1 is now 3-2. Called strike, full count. So full count now to Pagel. And the 3-2. Low, ball 4. And we are tied. Scoring is Bernard. So it's a tie game, 3-3 here in the first inning. So here is Jarlin Rivera at first base today. And the first pitch taken low, 1-0 to Rivera. For Rivera, no homers, but 2 doubles and 12 RBIs, batting .500. As time is called, as we are going to get a pinch runner. So pinch running. I believe it's going to be Pagel taking the bench. Pinch running.
At first base for catcher, Ali Pagel. Number 1, Michaela Quinones.
So Michaela Quinones will be the pinch runner for Franklin Town. And the 1-0 is fouled back to the screen. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Rivera. 1-1, bases loaded, 1 out for Franklin Town. And the 1-1 swung on it, missed, and the count 1-2. So now Jurace trying to get out of the inning here with the bases loaded, 1 out. And the 1-2 pitch, that swung on, hit out to left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes another run to the plate, and the throw is cut off. 2 runs will score. It is an RBI single for Jarlin Rivera, and it's now 5-3. Franklin Town here in the first inning. What a high-scoring first inning. 8 runs combined here in this championship game. So here is Selena Fred. And the pitch is bunted. That is going to be fair. Throw over to first is in time. So Fred is retired on the sacrifice bunt. And it'll be second and third and 2 outs for Franklin Town.
Number 3, Abigail Peltzar.
So here is Peltzar, the designated players. We are back to the top of the order for the Warriors. And the first pitch is taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 taken outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Peltzar. So 2-0 the count. Pitch taken for a called strike 1 on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike to Peltzar. And the 2-1 hit in the air, left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 2 runs will score. Peltzar's rounding first. She will make it to second with a 2-run RBI double. And all of a sudden, Franklin Town leads it 7-3 here in the bottom of the first. And here is Shia Cruz with her second at-bat of the day. Runner on second, 2 outs. Pitch popped up. That is going to drop in for a base hit. Bobbled in right field. Cruz is going for 2. The throw is in time. So Cruz is out, trying to stretch a single into a double, and the side is retired. Well, that'll end this high-scoring first inning. 7 runs, 4 hits, and a 1 left. After 1, it's the Warriors 7 and the Chargers 3. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. we go to the top of the second. Wow, this inning has been high scoring so far in this game. So, and we're going to the top of the order for the Chargers. So, Julianne Asher, the center fielder, leading off here in the top of the second. And the first pitch is popped up by Asher and fouled out of the play. And the count 0-1 on the center fielder, Asher. So, Asher stepping in. And here's the 0-1. Swung on, hit out to second. Fielded and thrown over to first in time for the out. Good play at second by Layton. One up, one down. And here is Milana Romero. So Milana Romero in left field. Her second at-bat of the day. And here, so has nobody on, one out here for the Chargers. Pitch taken for a ball. Count 1-0 to Romero. And here's the 1-0, foul back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Romero. So 1-1 from Cruz. And the pitch taken for a called strike. 1-2 to Romero. And here is the 1-2 from Cruz. Swung on it, missed, strike 3. And a quick 2 up and 2 down for Shia Cruz. And that will bring up Bridget Donahue at shortstop batting third. So Shia Cruz looking to work out of it on a 1-2-3. And the pitch taken outside by Donahue. Count is 1-0 to the shortstop. And 1-0 is the count. Pitch on the way. Taken, called strike. 1-1 to Donahue. So 1-1 from Cruz. The pitch taken, lined, foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the shortstop, Donahue. So Shia Cruz trying to work a 1-2-3 inning here for the Warriors. Nobody on, 2 out. 1-2 the count on Donahue. And here's the pitch from Cruz. The 1-2 popped up right center. That is playable and caught in right field as Fred makes the catch. Side retired. 1-2-3 go the Chargers. Go to the bottom of the second. 7-3 Warriors. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. So here is Anila Rivera leading off for the Warriors as we go to the bottom of the second. 7-3 is the score, and the first pitch is taken low, 1-0. So Gerace on the mound for the Chargers, trailing 7-3, and the 1-0 was fouled outside of first. Count is 1-1 to Rivera. So Anila Rivera, second team All-Public here in the Philadelphia Softball Public League. And the pitch swung on and missed. Rivera down to the count, 1-2 from Gerace. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, up high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the third baseman, Anila Rivera. So 2-2 the count. Pitch from Gerace, swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 up and 1 down so far here in the inning.
Number 8, Ann Bernard.
So here is Ann Bernard. 5 homers and 25 RBIs and a .714 batting average for Bernard. And the pitch taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 pitch taken low. 2 balls, no strikes on Bernard. And here's the 2-0. Popped up. Fair territory. That is dropped. Ball is dropped at first base by Mim. So Bernard will reach. And 1 on and 1 out for the Warriors. So an error. E3 on Mim. And that will bring up the center fielder, Blaisdell. Takes 1 for a called strike. 1-1. Blaisdell, a first team All-Public and Softball Player of the Year by the Northeast Times. And the 0-1 is swung on and missed by Blaisdell. No balls and 2 strikes. Blaisdell this fall will be attending Westchester University. And the 0-2 is taken for a called strike 3 on the inside corner. So 2 away. And that will bring up the second baseman. So Rebecca Layton will step in with a runner at first and 2 outs for the Warriors. And the pitch is taken for a called strike. Count 0-1 on Layton. So Bernard at first, 2 outs for the Warriors. And the pitch taken high, 1-1. As Pasco fakes the throw back to first. And going back on the base is Bernard. 1-1 the count. 1-1, grounded right back to the mound. Gerace fields, fires to first in time for the out. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. After 2, it's 7-3 Franklintown. We will be right back here on SFBN as you're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship. Jaya Cruz takes the mound back for the Warriors to start the top of the third, as the catcher Casey Pasco leads off for the Chargers, and the pitch to Pasco is grounded to third. Fielded and thrown over to first, the scoop in time for the out. Good play at third by Rivera, and a good scoop at first by Jarlin Rivera. So, one out, and here is Jayoni Farabelli. So, the right fielder stepping in. And here's the pitch to Farabelli. Swung on and missed. Count 0-1. So we here in the top of the third, the Warriors leading the Chargers 7-3. Here's the pitch, and there's a bunt, pop up, that's foul. Outside of first. No balls and 2 strikes on Farabelli. Hitting .324 this year with 12 runs and 19 RBIs. 0-2 the count on Farabelli. And the 0-2 pitch popped up into right. That is going to be playable and caught for the out by Fred. So 2 outs, and that will bring up the second baseman, Sarah. So Sam Tartaglione steps in. Batting .366, 9 homers, 13 RBIs, and the pitch is fouled off. Count 0-1 to Tartaglione. Her third year on the team and first year as a starter for Tartaglione. Down to the count 0-1. Here's the pitch. That is grounded right back to the mound. Cruz fields, fires to first in time. Side retired. 1-2-3 go the Chargers. At the end of 3.5, it's 7-3 Warriors. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Championship Public League here on SFBN. We go to the bottom of the third. After the high-scoring first inning, no runs so far after that, as the Franklin Town Charter High School Warriors leading the Pennsylvania Academy Chargers 7-3, as the first pitch is taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. So here is Pagel, the catcher. And the 1-0 pitch is taken for a called strike by Pagel. 1-1 the count. 7-3. Warriors leading the Chargers. And the 1-1. Swung on, hit out to right. Playable and drop in right field. Pagel's going for 2. The throw is overthrown, and she makes it. So a drop in right field by Farabelli, and the throw to second was offline, so Pagel makes it in with an error and a double.
Number 7, Yarlin Rivera.
So here is Yarlin Rivera stepping in for the Warriors at bat as Pagel.
Courtesy runner for catcher Molly Pagel. Number 1, Michaela Quinones.
So Michaela Quinones will step in as a runner, designated runner. And going to the bench is Pagel as the first pitch is taken low. 1 ball, no strikes to Rivera. The 1-0 pitch taken high. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner at second and nobody out for the Franklintown Warriors. And the pitch taken low by Rivera in the dirt, 3-0. On deck is Selena Freed, the right fielder, and the 3-0 is taken. Recalled strike 1. Count is 3-1 on Yarlin Rivera. The 3-1 swung on, popped up in the infield. That is playable and caught at third base by Schmutz. And there are 1 away.
Now batting, number 12, Selena Fred.
So Selena Fred steps in right field. And the pitch to Fred. Swung on it, missed. Count 0-1. Leading off second is Quinones. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Bunted foul. Back to the screen. And the count 0-2 on the right fielder, Fred. Runner at second, 1 out for the Warriors. Here's the 0-2 from Gerace. The pitch grounded right back to Gerace. Fields throws to first in time. 2 outs. And going to third is Quinones. So a runner at third and 2 outs for the Warriors. And so Abigail Peltzar, designated player, will step in at bat as we are back to the top of the order. And the first pitch is taken high for ball 1. 1-0 to Abigail Peltzar. And the 1-0. That is swung on and fouled out of play. Peltzar, a second-team All-Public for the Franklintown Warriors. And the pitch taken outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on the leadoff hitter, Peltzar. And the 2-1. That is taken. Recalled strike. Count 2-2 to Peltzar. The 2-2 popped up. That is going to land foul. Still a 2-2 count on Peltzar. Runner at third, 2 out. And here's the 2-2 from Gerace. That is fouled back to the screen. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Peltzar. With a runner at third and 2 outs. Gerace trying to get out of it. And here's the pitch. Taken outside, full count. 3-2 to Peltzar. And the 3-2 taken. Ball 4 just a hair outside. And there are runners at the corners with 2 outs. And now pitcher-on-pitcher matchup as Shia Cruz will come to bat. Cruz batting .261 with a homer. And now pitcher versus pitcher here. Gerace, first pitch is popped up. Foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike on Cruz. So 0-1 on Cruz. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, and the 0-1. Foul back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes on Cruz. So far, all the runs scored here in the first inning. 7-3 as the Franklin Town Charter High School Warriors leading the Philadelphia Academy Chargers. And the 0-2 is taken just high, 1-2. So the Warriors leading the Chargers 7-3. And here's the 1-2 taken outside. And Pelzar will take second on the steal. So runners at second and third now, 2 outs, 2-2 count on Cruz. 2-2 line, right back to Gerace, making the catch, and that will retire the side. Well, no runs, no hits, an error, 2 left. After 3, it's 7-3 Warriors. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. We are going to the top of the 4th with the score 7-3 Warriors leading the Chargers as the first baseman Sophia Mim leads off. As the first pitch to Mim, taken for a called strike, count 0-1. As Shia Cruz takes the mound after allowing 3 runs in the first inning. 7 runs scored by Franklin Town. And the 0-1 is taken inside. 1-1 to Mim. 366, 9 homers, 14 RBIs for Mim, and the 1-1 foul outside of third. 1-2 the count on Mim. As all runs scored in the first inning here in this one, 7-3, Franklin Town leading the Chargers. And the 1-2 taken high, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Mim. 2-2. Swung on, popped up. That is going to drop into center field for a base hit. So Mim is on first as the throw not cut off, as the throw goes in. Grabbed by Cruz. So Sophia Mim with a leadoff single as Ava Gerace will step in, the senior captain for the Chargers. So pitcher versus pitcher, and that pitch is taken for a strike by Gerace. Count 0-1 from Shia Cruz. As the Chargers looking to get back in this one. Pitch taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gerace. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Taken high and inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Gerace. Who will be attending Holy Family in the fall and will study radiology. His time is called by Gerace. Count 2-1 on the pitcher for the Chargers. 2-1. Foul back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gerace. The runner at first and nobody out. Chargers trying to get back in this one. 2-2 popped up in the infield. That is going to be caught. It is going to be caught as colliding is Layton with the shortstop Bernard. So Layton makes the catch, 1 away. As that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Lola Schmutz. And the first pitch to Schmutz is taken high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Schmutz, playing third base today for the Chargers. And the 1-0, foul back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike to the freshman, Lola Schmutz. So 1-1 from Shia Cruz to Schmutz. Here's the 1-1. Popped up. That is going to be dropping in for a base hit. Nearly making the catch at second base was Layton, but it drops in for a single as the throw goes overboard. Picked up by the catcher, Pagel. So runners at first and second and 2 outs. And we are going back to the top of the order as the center fielder, Julianne Asher, will step in at bat. Asher with runners at first and second. And the pitch is grounded to short. Fielded, thrown over to third, and that is in time for the second out. So there are 2 away. And now stepping in is the left fielder, Milana Romero.
Number 7, Milana Romero.
So Romero steps in, the sophomore left fielder, batting .489. 16 RBIs for Romero, first and second, 2 outs. And the pitch is taken inside, 1-0 from Cruz. One ball and no strikes to Romero. Here's the 1-0. Taken high and away inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the left fielder, Romero. 2-0 the count. 2-0 pitch on the way. Taken, called, strike. Count is 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Pitch hit on the ground up the middle. There's a base hit. 1 run will score. Rounding first, going to second, and Romero safe. Now here comes a runner to the plate. The throw is not in time and dropped. Dropped by Pagel at the plate. What a sequence of events as Romero with a 2-run RBI double. Asher scored. Also scored is Gerace. So 2-run score, and all of a sudden it's a 2-run game. Franklintown leading 7-5, but the Chargers are making some strides. As Romero's at second with 2 outs. And here's the shortstop, Bridget Donahue. And the pitch, taken low, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the shortstop. So Donahue. And the pitch hit on the ground right up the middle, grabbed by Cruz, throws over to first in time, side retired. Well, 2 more runs here in this one for the Philadelphia Academy Chargers. They get 2 runs on 2 hits and leave 1 after 4.5. It is Franklintown 7 and Philadelphia Academy 5. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Championship Public League here on SFBN. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. 7-5 is the score as the Franklintown Warriors leading the Chargers 7-5 as Anila Rivera, the third baseman, steps in as we go to the bottom of the 4th, and the pitch is taken high from Gerace. 1 ball, no strikes. Rivera, a second-team All-Public. And a 1-0, taken, called strike. So Anila Rivera and also Jarlin Rivera are second-team All-Publics for these Franklintown Charter High School Warriors. And the 1-1 is taken, and now 1-1 is fouled. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 the count. Now on Rivera. And here is Gerace's 1-2. That is taken for a called strike 3. And there are 1 away. So Gerace has been pitching well ever since the first inning after the 7 runs she gave up. So far, 2 runs for the Chargers since then. 7-5 is the score. So Franklintown leading by 2, and the first pitch is taken inside. Count is 1-0 on the shortstop and Bernard. Pitch, that's going to be taken inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to the shortstop, Bernard. The 2-0 line, and there's a base hit into center field. Bobbled and fielded in by Asher. So a runner at first, 1 out. And here is the center fielder, Sophia Blaisdell. So Blaisdell steps in with a runner at first and 1 out. Seeing a lot of bobbles in the outfield and then a pickoff at second base. And there's a called strike. 0-1 to Blaisdell. So 0-1 the count from Gerace. Pitch, ground ball, foul just outside of third. 0-2 to Sophia Blaisdell. With a runner on and 1 out. Luckily for Bernard, she didn't round first and go to second and get picked off for the Warriors. And here is the 0-2 fouled off. As we've seen, so still 0-2 as on Blaisdell, as we've seen a lot of that today so far. So count 0-2 to Blaisdell. And the 0-2, and she gets hit by the pitch. And Blaisdell will take first. So runners at first and second and one out for the Franklintown Warriors. And that will bring up the second baseman, Rebecca Layton. So Layton steps in with first and second and one out for the Warriors. And the pitch, Layton bunts. That is going to be a foul ball. Outside of third. Count 0-1. So runners first go back to first and second. Count 0-1, one out. 7-5 is the score. Franklintown leading. The pitch taken high for ball one. One ball and one strike to the second baseman, Layton. First and second, one out. 1-1. Taken in there for a called strike on a breaking ball. 1-2 to Layton. 1-2 on the way. Taken just inside. 2-2 the count on Layton. First and second, one out for the Warriors. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air out to center field. That's playable and caught by Asher for the second out. As Asher fires in, runners back to first and second. So 2-1 and two outs for the catcher, Molly Pagel. So here's the catcher, Molly Pagel. First and second on. And two out. And the pitch is taken by Pagel for a called strike one. And the count 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Pagel. Pitch hit on the ground. That is going to be in front of the catcher. Fields throws over to first in time as Pasco throws over to first for the out, and that will retire the side. Well, no runs on a hit. Two left. After four, it's the Warriors 7, but Chargers 5. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. We go to the top of the fifth as the Franklintown Charter High School Warriors leading 7-5 against the Philadelphia Academy Chargers here in the Softball Philadelphia Public League Championship. And the first pitch is swung on, hit out to left center. That is going to be a base hit all the way to the wall, rounding first and going to second is Pasco. And Casey Pasco, the catcher, with a leadoff double, stand-up double. And it looks like we will get a pinch runner.
Number 16.
Or not. So Jayoni Farabelli steps in. So runner at second and nobody out. And the pitch is swung on, hit down the left field line. That's foul, out of play. Count 0-1 to Farabelli. So Pasco on second with nobody out with a leadoff stand-up double. As Farabelli looking to drive in another run here for the Chargers. 0-1 the count. And the 0-1 swung on and missed. Count 0-2 to Farabelli. So far, the Chargers have scored 2 runs after the combined 10-run first inning, as the 0-2 is swung on and foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. So Farabelli goes down on strikes. 1 out, and here is Sam Tartaglione. The second baseman will step in. And the pitch to Tartaglione is taken for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Tartaglione. And the 1-0 from Cruz. That's taken for a called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tartaglione. Runner leads off second. 1 out. And the 1-1 taken high, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tartaglione. 2-1 the count. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count 2-2 on Tartaglione. The junior batting .366. 13 RBIs. And the 2-2. Taken for a called strike 3 on the outside corner. And there are 2 away. And here's the first baseman, Sophia Mim. So Mim with 14 RBIs, a junior, batting .366. Runner at second, 2 outs for the Chargers. And the pitch from Cruz, taken high for ball 1. 1-0 on Mim. So 1 ball and no strikes to Mim. The 1-0 taken on the outside corner for a called strike 1. 1-1 to Mim. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Cruz. Just outside. 2 balls and a strike to Mim. That was a close pitch. Just on the outside corner. 2-1. Line dropped by the second baseman. Rounding third is Pasco, and she's going to score. So a drop by the second baseman, Leighton Pasco, scores. It will be an RBI error and a single for Mim. And it is now a run game. Franklintown leads it 7-6 here in the top of the 5th. And that will bring up the pitcher, Ava Gerace. And that's a wild pitch, ball 1, all the way to the backstop. And taking second is Mim. Count is 1-0 to the pitcher, Gerace. So pitcher on pitcher. 1-0 the count, 2 outs, runner at second. Pitch, take it low, 2-0 to Gerace. This one is close. 7-3 after the first, now 7-6. Here's the pitch. fouled back all the way out of the park. 2-1 the count on Gerace. So 2-1 is the count. Runner at second, 2 outs. Pitch to Gerace. Foul back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 to Gerace. 2-2 the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That just missed. A little bit low and away outside. Full count, 3-2. Lola Schmutz on deck. Runner at second, 2 outs. Full count to Gerace. Cruz's pitch, the 3-2. Swung on it, missed strike 3. And that will retire the side. Cruz gets out of the jam. But you got a run on a hit and an error, 1 left. After 5.5. Franklin Town 7 and Philadelphia Academy Chargers 6. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship right here on SFBN. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and all of a sudden, this Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship game is a close one. It's 7-6. Franklin Town still up as the first pitch by Gerace is taken up high, ball 1. Count 1-0, and the 1-0 fouled back to the screen by Jarlin Rivera, the third baseman. 1-1. 7-6 Franklin Town leading this one. It's been a close game, a high-scoring one in the first inning, but ever since the 3 runs since the first have been scored by the Chargers. So 2-1, and the 2-1 pitches popped up, and that is going to be caught by the shortstop, Donahue. So, 1 out. And that will bring up Selena Fred, the right fielder. So, nobody on and 1 out for Franklin Town. As Fred steps in, the right fielder. Pitch bunted on the ground outside at third. It's going to be a tough play. Throw to first. Not in time. And Selena Fred is on with a bunt single with 1 out. And
now batting number 3, Abigail Peltzar.
so here is Peltzar, designated player, stepping in for Franklin Town, and the first pitch is taken high. 1-0. One ball and no strikes. Pitch taken high. 2-0. So 2-0 the count. Pitch taken on the outside corner. Called strike. 0-1 to Pelzar. And the 2-1 fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pelzar. Runner at first, 1 out. And the 2-2 popped up into center field, playable and caught by Asher for the 2nd out. And there are 2 away. As that will bring up the pitcher, Shia Cruz. So Cruz steps in with 1 on and 2 outs for Franklin Town. Bottom of the 5th. And the Warriors leading this one 7-6, and that is fouled back to the screen. So a little fun fact about the Franklin Town Warriors, as head coach Skylar Petrosky and assistant coach Kadira Williams both were teammates, as the 0-1 is taken just a bit outside. 1-1. So Petrosky and Williams were teammates, as the 1-1 is taken for ball 2, 2-1. So both the head coach and the assistant coach were teammates. Petrosky graduated in 2017. Williams graduated in 2018, as the 2-1 is taken low. 3-1 to Cruz. 3-1 pitch. Taken inside, ball 4. So first and second, and 2 outs for the Franklin Town Warriors. So Anilo Rivera, the 3rd baseman, steps in. A 2nd team All-Public. And the pitch is taken for a called strike. 0-1 to Anilo Rivera. So 0-1 the count. And the 0-1 popped up. That is going to be foul out of play. Right near the seats. And the count 0-2. On Anilo Rivera. So no balls and 2 strikes to the 3rd baseman Rivera. And the 0-2 taken right down the middle for a called strike 3. And that will retire the side. So no runs on 2 hits, 2 left. After 5, it is the Franklin Town Charter High School Warriors 7 and the Philadelphia Academy Chargers 6. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship here on SFBN. we go to the top of the 6th. This one is getting close. This one is getting interesting. The Franklintown Charter High School Warriors are 6 outs away from winning the championship, but not so fast. With the Philadelphia Academy Chargers only trailing by 1 as Lola Schmutz, the third baseman, leads off. And the first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. So 1-0 on Schmutz. The 1-0, take it for a called strike. 1-1 the count on Schmutz. Schmutz is a freshman starter. As the 1-1 is taken for a called strike. On the outside corner, 1-2 to Schmutz. And the 1-2. That's taken a bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Schmutz. Here is the 2-2 pitch on the way from Cruz. Line caught at first base. And a good catch by Jarlin Rivera. So, 1 out. And we are going back to the top of the order for the center fielder, Julianne Asher. So, 8 RBIs for the junior center fielder for the Chargers. Here's the 0-1. Oh, here's the pitch, fouled back. 0-1 the count. 1 out for the Chargers. And a 0-1 count on the center fielder, Asher. Here is the 0-1 from Cruz. Taken in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the center fielder, Asher. 1-1 the count. And the pitch. That is popped up, and that is going to be foul out of play. And the count 1-2 to Asher. Nobody on, 1 out for the Chargers. And a close one here, 7-6. Warriors with the lead. Asher down to the count, 1-2. Cruz getting ready. And the 1-2 pitch from Cruz. Popped up. That's foul, but it's going to be caught. It is caught in foul territory. A good catch by Jarlin Rivera, the first baseman, and there are 2 away.
Now batting, number 7.
And that will bring up the number 2 hitter, Melina Romero, the left fielder. And the sophomore left fielder stepping in. And here's Cruz's first pitch, hit on the ground, up the middle, base hit, center field. So Romero keeps this inning alive for the Chargers. She will be on, a runner at first and 2 outs. As now the shortstop, as Bridget Donahue, the shortstop, stepping in to bat for the Chargers. A runner at first, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Lined up the middle, and there's a base hit center field. Rounding second and going to third is Romero. Here's the throw offline. And now going to second on the overthrow is Donahue. So second and third and 2 outs for the Chargers. Romero could have scored on the overthrow, but it'll be runners at second and third, 2 outs, and with a chance to take the lead on the base hit is the catcher, Casey Pasco. So the senior captain stepping in for the Chargers. And here is the pitch to Pasco, taken for a called strike, 0-1. Pasco will be attending Immaculata University in the fall to play softball and study early childhood education. 0-1 the count to Pasco. Pitch taken high, ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike to Pasco. Second and third, 2 outs. A big opportunity to take the lead for the Chargers, but can Shyla Cruz get out of the inning? The 1-1, taken low, 2 balls and a strike to Pasco. Two balls and a strike on the catcher, Pasco. 2-1, taken high, ball 3. 3-1 the count. On deck is Jayoni Farabelli, the right fielder. That is if the inning continues. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch to Pasco, popped up. That is going to go foul near our booth. And it's a full count, 3-2 to the catcher, Pasco. So, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Top of the 6th. Franklintown leading the Chargers 7-6. 3-2 from Cruz. Popped up, and that will go foul out of play. And it is still 3-2 on Pasco. So, full count. Once again, here we go. 3-2, 2 outs. Second and third for the Chargers. And the 3-2. Taken inside, ball 4. And the bases are now loaded with 2 outs for the Chargers. And that will bring up the right fielder. So Jayani Farabelli steps in. The bases are loaded. 2 outs for the Philadelphia Academy Chargers. And here's the first pitch from Cruz. Hit on the ground. Foul just outside of third. Count 0-1 to Farabelli. So a base hit can take the lead for Farabelli. Or if she gets on with a walk, this could tie the game. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Down to the count is Farabelli 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch from Cruz. Hit on the ground out to short, and there's a base hit in the left field under the glove. 1 run scores. Here comes another run. She will score. Farabelli goes back to first to throw offline, and now here comes another run to score. And all of a sudden, 3 runs will score. It is an RBI single for Farabelli, and it is now 9-7. The Chargers lead it. And all of a sudden, we're going to have a conference at the mound with Cruz for the Warriors. So the base is clear. An RBI single for Farabelli. 2 runs scored. And then 1 run scores on the error. As Kadira Williams, the assistant coach, will come out to the mound to talk with Shyla Cruz. So all of a sudden, all runs have been scored so far after the first inning by the Chargers. 6-0, they have outscored the Warriors since the 10 runs combined in the first inning. So the second baseman, Sam Tartaglione, will step in with a runner at first and 2 outs. Time called. As that was an injury timeout. A bit, so And Bernard is okay. The ball, after the ball went under her glove for the RBI single. First pitch hit on the ground, a short. Bernard bobbles it, picks it back up, throw to first, not in time. So Tartaglione reaches with a single. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Sophia Mim. So first and second, 2 outs.
Now batting, number 4, Sophia Mim.
So Mim steps in for the Chargers. Pitch to Mim, popped up. That could be trouble, but it is caught. It is going to be caught by the right fielder, Fred, and that will retire the side. The Chargers take the lead. 3 runs on 3 hits and an error and 1 and 2 left. After 6.5, it's the Chargers 9, the Warriors 7. You're watching the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship right here on SFBN. We go to the bottom of the 6th. What a turn of events here. As after the first inning, Franklin Town Warriors have not scored a run, but the Chargers now lead it 9-7 as Gerace's first pitch is low. The count is 1-0 to the shortstop and Bernard. And the 1-0 taken inside. 2 balls, no strikes to the shortstop, Bernard. So no runs have been scored by the Warriors since the first inning. And all of a sudden it's now 9-7. Chargers with the lead and the 2-0 taken low. 3 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, no strikes from Gerace. The 3-0 taken there for a called strike. And it is 3-1 to Bernard. 3-1. High and inside, ball 4. And Bernard is on with a leadoff walk, and that will bring up the center fielder, Sophia Blaisdell. So Blaisdell steps in. The center fielder. Pitch taken right down the middle for a called strike. 0-1. No balls and a strike. The 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Blaisdell. 0-2 pitch to Blaisdell. Hit on the ground at first. That is just going to be foul. And it is still an 0-2 count as Bernard goes back to first. Oh, 2 pitch to Blaisdell. Hit in the air, off the glove, and off the glove of the shortstop, and Blaisdell reaches. So Bernard goes to second, dropping the ball. At third was Schmutz, and nearly catching it was Donahue. So first and second, nobody out for the Warriors. And here's the second baseman, Rebecca Layton. Here's the pitch to Layton. Bunt, foul back to the screen. 0-1 to Layton. Runners at first and second, nobody out here for the Warriors. In a 9-7 game led by the Chargers. The pitch, foul back to the screen. 0-2 the count. So 0-2 on Layton. First and second, the runners lead. And the 0-2 hit in the air. That is going to be a base hit center field. Rounding third is going to be Bernard, and she is going to score as the throw not in time. And all of a sudden, it's back to a one-run game. And that will bring up the catcher, Molly Pagel. First and second, nobody out for the Warriors. And it is a 9-8 Chargers lead. The Warriors could tie it here with a base hit by Pagel. Bit of a conference at the mound. Now here we go as the catcher Pagel steps in. Bunt attempt, takes it back just in time. That is low for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to the catcher Pagel. Time called as Pasco communicates with the infield for the Chargers. And here is the 1-0 pitch from Gerace. Bunt attempt, nearly hit. Pagel takes it back, and it is now 2-0 to the catcher Pagel. So 2-0 the count, and the pitch to Pagel. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. 1 pitch away from loading the bases, and nobody out for a ball. Let's see, here's the 3-0, taken for a called strike to Pagel. Well, 3 balls and a strike from Gerace. Three balls and a strike. Gerace is 3-1. In there for a called strike, 2 full count. 3-2 on Pagel. Three and 2 the count from Gerace. The pitch to Pagel, hit in the air, out in the right field. That is going to be caught by the right fielder. Throw is offline. Now the runners are going to advance. and it's second and third, and 1 out. So an error made by Farabelli, and a balk is called. A balk has been called against the Chargers, and this game is tied. So going to third is Blaisdell. Bernard scores, and this one is tied after a balk and an overthrow by the right fielder Farabelli. And we are tied at 9 here in the 6th inning. So here is Jarlin Rivera with a runner at third, 1 out. And the pitch, half swing, foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike to Rivera. Here is the 0-1, swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Rivera. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at third, 1 out. The pitch from Gerace, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will be the 2nd out. So going back to third is Blaisdell. So runner at third, 2 outs. And that will bring up Selena Fred, the right fielder for the Warriors. And a tie game, 9-9. Let's see what Fred can do with the plate. Here's the pitch from Gerace. Bunt attempt. Foul back to the screen. 0-1 the count to Selena Fred. Runner at third, 2 outs. 0-1 to Fred. Gerace's pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Here is the 0-2 to Fred. Swing and a miss, drop third, strike. Here's the throw to first in time. And that will retire the side. So, 2 runs scored on 2 hits, an error, and 1 left. After 6, we are tied at 9. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Championship Public League here on SFBN. Go to the top of the 7th here in the Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship game. Philadelphia Academy Chargers 9, Franklintown Charter High School Warriors 9. We are all tied up here in the top of the 7th in this championship game.
Leading off for Philadelphia Academy.
So far,
14, Ava Gerace.
so Ava Gerace, the pitcher, leads off against Shyla Cruz. So Shia Cruz takes the mound for the 7th inning against Gerace, pitcher versus pitcher, and the first pitch is swung on and missed. And the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike on the pitcher Gerace. 0-1 the count. Pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 from Cruz. So 0-2 the count to the senior captain pitcher Ava Gerace. And the 0-2 taken high, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gerace. 1-2 the count. Cruz getting set. Low 1-2. Just missed up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To the pitcher Gerace. 2-2 the count. And the pitch. Foul tipped right into the glove for strike 3. And there is 1 away.
Number 3, Lola.
So here's the third baseman, Lola Schmutz. A freshman starter at third base. And the pitch to Schmutz, swung on and missed. And the count 0-1. No balls and a strike to Schmutz. Nobody on, 1 out for the Chargers. And the 0-1. Just missed. Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Schmutz. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Grounder to first. Bobbled. Here's the throw to first, and she is out. So bobbled at first by Charlene Rivera and flips right to Leighton. So 2 outs, and that will bring up Julianne Asher, the center fielder, as we go back to the top of the order for the Chargers. In a tie game, 9-9 here in the 7th inning of this Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship game. And the first pitch taken, called strike 1 to Asher. And the count 0-1. So Shia Cruz trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. 0-1 the count. And the 0-1. High and inside as Asher had to duck out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count to Asher. Cruz getting set. Here's the 1-1 from Shia Cruz. Taken to the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, 2-1 the count. And the pitch from Cruz. Fouled at the plate. Goes off of Asher. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. You're in the top of the 7th. Tied at 9. Two and 2 the count. Top 7. 9-9 the score. Nobody on. 2 outs. Pitch from Cruz. Taken just low. Full count, 3-2. To the leadoff hitter, Asher. Oh, 3-2 the count. And the pitch. Just high and outside, ball 4. And Asher will take first. with 2 outs. And that will bring up the left fielder, Maulana Romero.
Now batting, number 7, Alana Romero.
So Romero steps in with a runner on first and 2 outs for the Chargers. And let's see if Cruz can get out of the inning. Here's the pitch line. There's a base hit in the right center field. Rounding second and going to third is Asher, and Romero with a single. So runners at the corners and 2 outs for the Chargers in this back and forth game here in this Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship.
Bridget Donahue.
So Bridget Donahue, the shortstop, steps in with the runners at the corners and 2 outs. A base hit gives the Chargers the lead. And here's the first pitch from Cruz, taken low, 1-0. Now, could have been a play, as going back to third, nearly stealing a base, was Asher, nearly trying to steal the plate, but Romero steals second. Second and third, 2 outs and a 1-0 count to Donahue. And a 1-0, taken for a called strike. 1-1 by Cruz. Second and third, 2 outs and a 1-1 count on Donahue. 1-1 the count from Cruz. And the pitch. Taken for a called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Donahue. So 1-2 the count. First, second, and third. And 2 outs. 1-2 the count from Cruz. The 1-2 pitch to Donahue. Inside, ball 2. Runners moved. Back to second and third. 2-2 the count on Donahue. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Here is the 2-2 from Cruz. The pitch, grounder to third, off the glove. That's going to score in the left field. 1 run scores. Here comes another run of the plate. She will scores. The throw goes overboard. Here goes Donahue. She will ground second and go to third. It's a 2-run RBI triple for Bridget Donahue. And it is 8. It is 11-9. Chargers taking the lead here on the top of the 7th. And that will bring up the catcher, Casey Pasco, with a runner at third. And 2 outs for the Chargers. Well, Shia Cruz retired the first 2 batters and then walked the last 2 batters. Well, gave up the last 2 hits. And all of a sudden, the lead is 1. And the first pitch, ground ball, foul outside of third by Pasco. Count 0-1 to the catcher. No balls and a strike. Runner at third, 2 outs. Chargers leading the Warriors 11-9 here in the top of the 7th. The 0-1 pitch to Pasco. Inside, ball 1. 1-1 to Cruz. From Cruz to Pasco. So 1-1 the count. Time called by Cruz, as they will have a conference at the mound. She's crying. Okay. So Cruz emotional at the mound. And the pitch is taken outside. 2 balls and a strike to the catcher, Pasco. So runner at third, 2 outs. And 2-1 the count. Pitch from Cruz, taken for a called strike. 2-2 the count on Pasco. With a runner at third and 2 outs. So Cruz had the first 2 batters out. And the 2-2 pitch is lined. Fair ball, base hit. And a run will score. Pasco's rounding first. She will go to second. Scoring easily from third is Donahue. And it is 12-9 is the score. The Chargers leading the Warriors.
Now batting, number 16, Jayhani Farabelli.
So Gianni Farabelli, the right fielder, will step in with a runner at second and 2 outs. So, runner at second, 2 outs. Pitch from Cruz. In the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. So, Cruz has given up the last 3 runs in this inning. And then retired the first 2 batters. Now, the 1-0 is swung on and missed. Count 1-1. And then the last few batters, she has given up a run. So 1-1 the count, and the 1-1 hit on the ground to third. Fielded and thrown over to first. Is she safe? So it looks like a controversial play here as the first baseman, Jarlin Rivera, trips Gianni Farabelli, and Farabelli is down on the ground. So we will pause for an injury timeout here on SFBN. Ready.
13,
So the run does score. So safe at first is Farabelli. And that will bring up Sam Tartaglione as Farabelli leads off first. Pitch is high. 1-0 the count. And the pitch from Cruz, taken for a called strike. Count 1-1 to Tartaglione. Runner at first, 2 outs. The 1-1. Grounded up the middle. That is grabbed. And stepping onto the bag for the out, he's the shortstop Bernard, and that retires the side. So, 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 left. Bottom of the 7th, 13-9, Chargers leading the Warriors. We'll be right back. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Championship Public League here on SFBN. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Chargers 3 outs away from winning the Philadelphia Public League Softball Championship as Pelzar leads off bunts. No throw to first. Now the throw is offline. So Pelzar will advance to second. And now she's going to go to third. And will she go home? No, she's going to stop at third. So Gervais takes the ball. So a bunt single turns into an error on the throw by Gervais. And Pelzar is at third with nobody out. And that will bring up the pitcher, Shia Cruz will step in at the plate. What an unbelievable turn of events in this game. Here's the pitch to Cruz. Hit, base hit up the middle. Scoring is Pelzar. Cruz with an RBI single. It's 13-10. And now Cruz is going for 2. Here's the throw. Not in time. The tag was missed by the shortstop, by Donahue at short. So Cruz is on second with nobody out. And it's a 3-run game. And that will bring up Anila Rivera, the third baseman. batting third, runner at second, nobody out. Pitch. Rivera swings and fouls it back to the screen. 0-1 the count. So 0-1 to Rivera. Pitch popped up. That is going to go foul. Near our booth, out of play. 0-2 is the count. So 0-2 the count on Anilo Rivera. Here's the 0-2. Taken high, ball one. 1-2 the count. So 1-2 the count. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. And Rivera strikes out swinging. And there are one away.
Now batting, number 8, Ann Bernard.
So, Ann Bernard, the shortstop, batting eighth, or batting fifth or fourth in the lineup. First pitch is taken in the dirt, a wild pitch. Here's the throw to third. She is safe. Cruz steals third. So the count is 1-0 at the plate on Bernard. Cruz steals third. So a runner at third, one out. 1-0 the count on Bernard. Gerace's pitch just missed. 2-0 the count, and the throw back to the pitcher goes to short. Cruz will score. Wow. So that was an error, and now we're going to get a conference at the mound. 13-11 is the score.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we are having some technical difficulties on the scoreboard, as runs score, we will keep you abreast. Our score at this moment, Philadelphia Academy 13, Franklin Town Charter 11.
13-11 is the score. What a game. Unbelievable. High scoring in the first inning. Nobody scores after that until the Chargers get 2 runs, make it 7-5, take the lead. Game is tied 9-9 into the 7th. And here's the pitch. That's hit out to right. That is going to be off the glove of Farabelli, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Rounding second, and now going to go to third is Bernard with a triple. A triple. Do you believe it? Wow. Runner at third, one out.
Now batting,
And that is going to bring up Sophia Blaisdell, the center fielder. The senior, who will be attending Westchester next year. Runner at third, one out. Pitch from Gerace, hit on the ground, just foul outside at third. 0-1 the count. So Shia Cruz had 2 outs in the 7th, and then gave up 4 runs after that. And the pitch is a wild pitch, going all the way to the backstop. No throw, runner safe. Bernard is safe on the wild pitch. It is 13-12. All of a sudden, this is a 1-run game here in the bottom of the 7th. What a turn of events. Oh my goodness. 1-1 the count on Blaisdell. Here's the 1-1 hit on the ground. Grab by Gerace. Throws the first in time. 1 away, 2 away. So 1 more out for the Chargers. And they are the champions of the Philadelphia Softball Public League. Well, let's see what happens here. As second baseman Rebecca Layton steps in. Nobody on, 2 outs. And the pitch to Layton. Hit, line to first, bobbled, taken to the bag, and no play. No play as the first baseman, Mim, could not handle it. So reaching on an error is Layton, and that brings up the catcher, Molly Pagel. Runner at first and 2 outs. And another error by the Chargers. Just one of 9 errors combined in this game, and one of 6 errors that time by the Chargers. So Molly Pagel, the catcher, will step in at bat here for the Warriors. Their last chance once again. Here comes the catcher. And here's the pitch from Gerace. Takes high, ball 1. 1-0 to Pagel. One ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0 to Pagel. Taken for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count on Pagel. So, Gerace, 1 strike away from retiring this batter. Can the Chargers win it? 1-2 the count on Pagel. Runner at first, 2 outs. Gerace is 1-2. Swung out and missed for strike 3. And the Philadelphia Academy Chargers have won the Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship game. What a turn of events here today. The final score, Chargers 13 and the Warriors 12.
If we could have a round of applause for both teams for a tremendous championship game.
What a championship game it was. 13-12 is the final score. What a dramatic ending. We will have the presentation of the championship trophy. You'll be right back. You're watching the Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship game as the Philadelphia Academy Chargers defeat the Franklintown Charter High School Warriors 13-12. We'll be right back here on SFBN.
Public League Softball Chair, Zoe Sistwick, presents the championship plaque for Public League champions to Philadelphia Academy. And now, your championship game MVP from Philadelphia Academy, the catcher, number 15, Casey Pasco.
So your MVP of today's championship game is the catcher, Casey Pasco, who is a senior and a captain, and will be playing softball and studying early childhood education at Immaculata University this fall. And a congratulations to her and the Philadelphia Academy Chargers on winning today's Philadelphia Softball Public League Championship game. And that will wrap up our coverage here today in a very fitting and dramatic ending to this championship game, with the final score, the Philadelphia Academy Chargers 13 and the Franklintown Charter High School Warriors 12. Well, we want to thank our coverage today here at FDR Park, here in the great city of Philadelphia, with my cameraman Winston Cameron and my producer Sean Riley. I am Justin Sonsini, bringing on the play-by-play today, signing off right here on SFBN. Have a good night, everyone.